What's up, guys? This is the workstation right here where I get to work, get to doing what I do. Got a little light set up. People sometimes wonder how this all works. I got a little setup here, and look at this. This is an old magazine here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Transformation, personal transformation, trust in God, but tie your camel to the hitch. You know, this is so cool. This is something from a friend of mine named John Thomas. This is the station, and I just want to show you. Of course, I got some other lights and things behind here, but most likely there's a timer running here, and the reason why we do timers is because it gives times for people to come in and get ready on these live events, these live shows. And so what I want you to do right now, if you are tapped in, tuned in, go ahead and like this post. Begin to comment and talk to people. Say where you're from. Also say things, maybe while you're there, anything. Just this is a community. This is not just about me. And it's not just about what I present or bring. I get the discussion started. I also will possibly just bring some really interesting things and the gifts that I have been given. So, like, share, comment. The show will begin. Whatever this time says, it should be right here. I'm going to put it right there. Yeah, I'm the editor, so I'll put it right there. Great. So this time, this clock, we'll see. Yeah, this clock right here should be letting you know that we're about to get started. And you'll see my little intro. You'll see my little intro, and then I'll get started and try to stay on task. Let's go! Get excited, like and share. Greetings. What's up? Hopefully everyone can hear me loud and clear. We are on for this evening. It's so wonderful and so great to be with you and to have this moment with you. We have, of course, people, of course, will tap in and tune in as they do. My thing is just to deliver and to be and to see what I see within myself, also possibly what I may see into you. All right. Yes, sir. Thank you for so much. Well, for on YouTube, we got Mr. Christopher. Hello, how you doing, brother? Yes, yes, yes. We got Teresa. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Yes, Miss you I can always depend on Miss Velma. Awesome. And we got some people, of course, right here on Instagram. We have different people popping in and out. I see you. I got my Instagram, of course, now working with the software. It's good to have all of you guys this evening. I'm not sure if you've seen that particular topic. Of course, I'm going to bring back some individuals. I got people that are amazing people that are going to be on the show, and you're going to be really, really um, moved as the people that I bring on the show, and what it does for you, because it's just a matter of information that you don't real necessarily just need, but it's the knowledge that is bridged with the practices that you bring, letting go of different things in your life and allowing things to be, and this bridging, right, emerging with your deepening awareness and the expanded awareness that you have in your consciousness creates a deeper intuition. I was reading something recently or listening to something recently. He's a CIA fellow, and now he does business um, consulting and coaching. But he said, don't believe your gut. Remember, they talk about gut feeling, and we talk about going off of the gut feeling. And the reason why you don't go off of the gut feeling 100% is because there's emotions involved. There's a lot of trauma involved. We all can have levels of trauma, which we may talk about tonight, and we can go through some things. And don't forget, if you want to help me with this particular broadcast, just remember to like, of course, share, comment, communicate. I have a light back there that is seems like is having a mind of its own. It's kind of distracting for me. It's just wanting to change colors. Hopefully, it's not doing messing with you guys too bad. But like and share this so that other people can actually, possibly may benefit from something that may be said or something that a person may pick up, and also add value to the community at large. So let me see. I got this on my phone where I can actually get that rogue light that wants to switch colors on me. It's annoying. I don't want it to switch colors. So, who you are defined by your experiences and your expression. And we are now to a point in life that allows us, right? It has been here, but now we're at a greater a moment of clarity and acceptance amongst a large group of people that becomes more of what I would consider a collective consciousness, a collective awareness. Yes, this is, I guess I just need to, that light was actually acting that way earlier, and I should have just I should have just cut it off. I don't know about you, but sometimes little things like that can um, really distract me. You guys would, y'all probably, you think it's kind of cool. Hey, Miss Dolores, it's so good to see you. Good to see you. We have some people. Thank you for coming in, Miss Holly. You're so wonderful, Mr. Dolores from Detroit. You guys are so wonderful. Gwendolyn, I see. Thank you guys for tapping in and tuning in. You guys are getting ready to see and hear as I discuss something that I would say is pretty dear to my heart, or connected to a lot of what I'm working on, and I'm not sure if you've seen it or notice it. We're going to get this all functioning. There we go. But here's tonight's topic of humanity, spiritual evolution, the insanity of humanity, right? Isn't it quite ironic that you would think that some of the things that we are experiencing, whether it would be political or religious or through a lot of things that you see today, what is it that makes people tick? What makes people believe how they believe? And with consciousness or awareness, how is it that in this hour, in this day, in this time, that we can still carry on with some of the things that we do? You know, it almost would make you think that there's some insanity, right? I do know and I do believe there's a lot of trauma that we have experienced, and we just now getting to the point of understanding what that is. I'm working my notes here. So we understanding what trauma actually is. What is the experience that we may have that can lock? One of the things about trauma, it can lock into your psyche. It could lock into who you believe that you are, and you wonder why you're experiencing life in the way that you are, or the reason why you may having a certain results in life that you don't necessarily want. That's where we get into in the spiritual space. That's where we get into shadow work, right? And we begin to ask some of the existential questions, right? Especially when it comes to belief systems. Hmm. How is this related to the expansion of who we are, the expansion of, as we say, expanded consciousness? You know, we are the ones that's expanding more than more than anything else. Of course, everything is expanding outside of us because of the fact that I believe we are tuning into what has already been or already existed, and we're getting closer, or we're getting more connected to this as we begin to learn to shed, and we begin to learn to let go. We begin to learn to allow things to unfold in our lives. Seeking, if you will. Some people will say seeking is possibly being void of what you believe that you don't have, what you believe that is not you. And there's a point, I think, within who, as we seek who we are, as we go through the practices, right? This is for people that have moved over into the realm or the dimension, right? As we move out of the non duality of thinking, right? But I'm going to take us back. I want to take us back to what we're going to get into: spiritual evolution. If you understand what evolution is, this is the iPhone. This is the iPhone 15. I had the very first iPhone. I didn't change every single one. I got this particular one for various reasons, i.e., I'm a filmmaker, and there's things that I do with these to produce. And so, but it started with a concept, but this concept started way, way long ago with this thing called the Newton by Steve Jobs, who was a transcendental meditator who also tripped a lot in the 70s. Whenever they would develop this, so did Bill Gates, right? To expand and see. One of the things that I want you guys to understand, deep breath. I'm not paying attention to the numbers right now. You guys are in, comment with each other. I'm gonna come back to that. But right now, I'm tapping in, tuning in, deep breath. And so expanding who you are and the expansion of consciousness, just no different than the dust of a star, right? You can have unlock you can have unlimited or a potential that is outside of just who you believe that you are from perception, right? And this is very important to understand. Aging, which I call experience, is not something that confines you to not being able to do something, right? Actually, you can have really great, amazing gifts as you begin to allow, because you can let go once you hit a certain age. You could begin to really let go and not care what people think. But once you begin to allow, that means that, I don't care what your experience is, i.e., age. I don't care what that is, especially when you give it your all, or when you open up and you say, I want to do something. I want to do something more. I want to leave something. I think more people, as they experience life, you hit 60s and 70s and 80s, I believe you need to begin to hopefully either document, as I'm doing, more, or write more, or leave more on the planet, because I experience a lot of people, right? So we're going to go through some evolution of thought and perception. We're going to go through the insanity of religious beliefs to a degree. I'm going to have some points of consciousness, probably talk a little bit about the quantum field and spiritual awakening, um, divine power, and how I've talked how technology can help pave the way for this. I don't know if I have my device. I have a device that I got from a company out of Lithuania, um, that is called a pulsetto, and it resets the vagus nerve. Wonderful. I haven't done it, and I have noticed tremendous results that I've had from it. And so we're gonna journey here real quick. Check on you guys. All right, you guys doing well? Oh, we're gonna open up. I'm open up to receive. I'm receiving too as this comes, because this is divine for me as it comes. I appreciate everyone that is here and your time that you are spending. But today, um, I'm going to, of course, here in a minute, I'll play some more videos. But today, I want to invite you to embark on a journey of just exploration, right, into the depths of this of spiritual evolution, right? When I think of spiritual evolution, I think, like I was talking about the iPhone, and it evolves. That's a product. I think spiritual evolution is, there was a time that we believed, let's just take it back 150 years ago. There's a time that we believed, humans believed a certain aspect about God, right? Divine being, divinity, or deity, that we believed, and it was a construct, and that construct was based on a perception. Were there experiences and expressions of divineness and expansion of consciousness? Yes, because we wouldn't be here doing this today. Okay. Um, but that same God, or the person that we believed in, is the same person that that confined us, that we use to confine individuals, i.e., specifically people of color, were really confined with this understanding of this the deity, especially within the Christian faith, as in is in America, predominantly in America, along with Islam. It's not predominant, but those are conversion based religions. In other words, it's very team oriented. It's very team, as in, like, this is my side, this is your side, right? It's very competitive. 41,000 denominations. And within those denominations, so I come from Kojic, that's one denomination, right? But then within the Kojic, there's lots of different people with various different, somewhat different ideas. But we've carried on with some of the same principles and ideas. There was, they first started with no makeup, and they started with certain dresses, and a lot of those things had to do with culture, right? But if we take it back 150 years, right, when we use the same book and we use the same God to actually confine people and to do things to people that would be considered barbaric today. But yet, though we had the consciousness and we believed that, okay, how do we get to where we are today? Spiritual evolution. Although, even in those days and the day and time, right, you still had people like, go up here to my research, you still had people like Alice Bailey, right? Anybody ever heard of Alice Bailey? Watch this here. We're gonna get into it tonight. Y'all, if y'all want to get into it, Malachi's gonna get into it. Right? So that here, this is Miss Alice Bailey. So whenever people start talking about new thought, or talking about, really, they're talking about new age, right? Alice Bailey she's got a deep story, interesting story, right? But the Theocracy Society and things of that nature, but a lot of her writings that can be considered channeled. And this right here, look at that, Alice Bailey 10-point plan to destroy Christianity. That's how search engine optimization works, right? That's how search engine optimization works. This individual person created this whole thing. Look at that, Inspire Walk. So this is just his opinion. It's not really true. That's just his opinion of this individual person. And you got to imagine 1880. What was the consciousness? What was the awareness or the consciousness of that time or of that day? Right? And so, of course, these get really, really deep just on the spiritual side of, and the evolution of spirituality. Right there, you see, as it says here, right, as the term new age, it came from then. So when a person wants to talk to you about, oh, that's new age, oh my God, that's new age, she was born in 1880, 1907, right, when she moved to America. There's nothing new about the new age. Look at this. This is another interesting thing. When you look up the witch trials, right? We had witch trials, the Salem witch trials, that were in America in the 1600s. And who was the ones that were battling these individual people of the witch trials whenever they were burning witches at the stake? So check this out. They weren't even burning witches at the stake. This right here was the trial of a lady whose daughter, I believe, was mentally challenged, developmental disabilities. That's my first study, psychology with developmental disabilities. That was my first study, and I did it for 10 years, working with developmental disabilities, special education, MRDD, mental retardation, MAT training. I got really deep into that. Was just part of my career, my life. I worked in that space. But this lady's daughter had a developmental disability. What do you think they knew about developmental disabilities in the 1600s, let alone 1970s? They still would train people up. But anyways, this lady was, I believe, the last person that she was the last person that was hung. Dorothy, I believe, was her daughter's name. But they hung the lady after the lady was pregnant. And they let the lady have the baby, and they hung her because of what they believed. And it was, I believe, it was still Christians that did that. And I'm not demonizing. I'm not calling all Christians bad. I still come from that. I'm just building a case of understanding of what we call as spiritual evolution. There was spirituality. There was elements of spirituality that we've known. I mean, from the beginning of us to a degree, because of the fact that we only had instinct. And then through time and through food and medicine as in apothecary, right? Through exploration of our being, of being Homo sapiens sapiens, we come to this point. We have spiritually, biologically, and consciously evolved, right? We've consciously evolved. Ooh, this is getting deep. I don't know if I might be going too far with y'all, but I don't care. Because what you got, look at this conscious evolution. There's a lot of people that will come against. So, conscious evolution, the concept of conscious evolution refers to the theatrical ability of the human beings to become conscious participants in evolution of their cultures. Oh, we're going to become aware, or even the entity human society based on, let's see, including increased awareness of cultures. Of course, I want you to have a good understanding. Really, what this comes from, conscious evolution comes from Barbara Marx Hubbard, right? No relation to Marxism or anything. That Barbara Marx, conscious evolution, right? Her belief and understanding is that become we become aware that we're becoming aware that we can be aware. Understand? We become aware that we could be aware. We can get rid of this for now. So we could become aware that we are aware, just like we could be aware of our thoughts. And what is being aware of our thoughts? Who is that is aware of our thoughts? Is it us that we are aware that we are thinking? We're aware of our brain? That's expanded, or the expansion of our consciousness, of our awareness. Because in true honesty, consciousness is boundless. The only thing that can expand, once we become one with the consciousness, once we become one, there's no was there where there's to expand. So that's still a part of expanded consciousness, is still part of duality. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm not looking at comments right now because Jesus. You go say this dude's crazy. So spiritual evolution is basically just being aware that human beings do evolve. Malachi Gross is speaking to you, possibly in the most plain vernacular where you can't pinpoint where I'm from. I'm from Kansas, but I have journeyed throughout the whole entire um, world per se, just even from the World Wide Web. Yes, I have left the country and done various different things a few times, right? And so, but I'm becoming myself, and I speak how I speak because of the experience and expressions and connections and things of that nature. If you hear me on the phone, you wouldn't know what I look like. You wouldn't believe that I was 6'4", 6'5", 200 something. I'm very large if you see me in person. Okay. And so compared to the average person. And so, but I'm talking about the evolution of our species, the evolution of us. Our consciousness isn't evolving as fast as our technology. We can have an argument about a belief system like religion that's based on the consciousness of the individuals that couldn't even read and write. And they're just sharing the story. And yet, though, we want to adapt and adopt all of the things that we believe that they believed. And half of those people will be like, y'all crazy. because we don't even know what you're talking about. That's all 1611. That's all King James. That's all formulated from Western Christianity on top of that, let alone when we think about Eastern Christianity and some of their original roots, right? And I don't, and there's other religions, but you gotta imagine the only main two religions that are based on conversion, based on we got to win souls, we got to win bodies, we got to win people, we got to get them in, and it is the richest thing on this planet. They said it's worth Google and Facebook or Google and Amazon or something like that combined. And I'm not, and the thing is I want you to understand is like, there are some very amazing things within it. Amazing things. I come from it. I still connect to some aspects. But if we don't evolve, we can become insane. Believe me. Because here's the thing that these people don't understand or realize or know. And this is the writing is on the wall. And check this out. This is coming. RTS. So if you understand, there's this thing called the DSM, right? The DSM-5. This is what the Diagnostic Statistics Manual of Mental Health, right? This is by the American Psychiatric Association. So when we haven't been doing psychology forever, folks. We haven't been doing psychology. Psychology is a new science. Is it still on the right screen? No, it's not. So I was just I was showing this here, this DSM-5. Now I'm gonna get to where I'm going. So you guys, so the DSM-5, psychiatry is not, it's not like old. So they use this to diagnose and to use this as a science for understanding, so that when a person is diagnosed with something clinically, I'm a life coach with a lot of therapy based experience and understanding, but I'm still a life coach. So what does that mean? That means that basically I can't do clinical research. Clinical diagnosing. I can't do that. So the thing is religious trauma it's going to be a thing. Religious trauma is poor communication skills and thinking, difficult making decisions, decreasing sense of self-worth, difficulty building strong relationships, sleep issues, struggling with fitting in, belonging, nightmares, anxiety, depression, grief. This, my friends, this is a thing. Religious trauma syndrome, a person experienced the trauma. This, my friend, spiritual abuse, signs of abuse. You understanding? This is the reason why we have to have spiritual evolution. If we don't have spiritual evolution, we're in trouble. This is insane. Self-hatred, shame, perfectionism. I need to call my therapist friend because I feel like I'm having a moment. Loss of community because you know what? Lack of boundaries. Jesus. Mental health disorder, depression, anxiety. How many of y'all can say y'all experience some of this? Entire country is experiencing this. The entire country has experienced some of this. Is it not? There's some treatment, right? Some people talk about faith-based therapy, but it could just basically pull you back into the same thing, right? So as I develop and you guys help me, but in the Institute of Expanded Consciousness, what I desire is for coaches and people to be tapped in, to tune in, to be aware, to ask the right questions so that people can talk about their spiritual. So transpersonal psychology, transpersonal coaching. We do the things, set goals and things of that nature, but we get also into an understanding that these things may be affecting you, and you might need to talk to a therapist. Because the things that you can experience and the things that are happening in our country today, right, can actually be so traumatizing that you wondering what's holding you back. You wondering why you can't move forward. And the reason why you can't move forward or you can't get because somebody's gonna scare you with faith, or with that you gotta have discernment. You gotta have what is the big word that is used? You can't be deceived. So you who is throwing the word deception, tell me how much you've been deceived. Tell me about the time how deep you was deceived. Tell me about the time you lost yourself, or tell me about the time, right? And not only that, that's perspective, perception, and perspective. Is it a snake or is it a rope? Your perspective is your perspective. And hopefully, your cognitive abilities that you may have can make a determination whether something is if you are to proceed with something or not. Most of the time, if we're not doing the work, I'm here to tell you, most of the time, we could be wrong. I've been wrong many times. I'm always dancing with my shadow. I'm always dancing with, you know what I mean? Just even the transition of Carlton Pearson, which and how I'm here to this point, he said one of the last things he said was, "You can shut it down, or you can take it on your own way, because I'm done here." And on his particular channel, I believe it is ordained, and the way it shifted and the way it worked is so that it could be archival and talk about him, and they can do and move and the gospel of inclusion, and DE can take it on and he's just become bishop. Malachi is 100%, 100% moving in the direction that I'm called to and that I feel lifted, right? I'm moving and we're working, and this is the stuff that me and Carlton would talk about. This is the stuff we were talking about, right? So we're going to talk about that set. But the journey of this exploration and the depths of spiritual evolution and the apparent insanity that I feel, I believe has plagued humanity throughout its existence. We often speak about things like evolution in terms of the tangible progress, like I just said about the iPhone, technology, science, my voice, how I'm talking, you know. But what about the evolution of the human mind and spirit? So as I redefine evolution, it's not merely about the development of gadgets, the modes of transportation. You know what I mean? That's some of the things that we're experiencing, but it's about our capacity to adapt, adopt, grow, and understand that life itself. As we edge closer to the awareness of duality, a profound shift occurs in our consciousness, altering the fabric of our reality. Things like the quantum field beckons upon us to grasp the understanding of the universe, bringing the gap between the force of what created us and what resides within us. Yet, in the midst of this journey towards an enlightenment or glowing or connectedness to all things, we find ourselves tethered to belief systems that defy reasoning, tethered to it, and we can't get away. And then we get afraid when we try to break away or when we ask questions. We get afraid, or someone comes against us, no different than what they done to Bishop Carlton Pearson. I was with him in his last days, and I remember walking and going into where he was at in hospice. And my breath began to change, and I began to experience the expression and connection because I know that was my last time I would see him. But also, I know the transfer of the connection to the job and the responsibility, if you will, of allowing us to be all together collectively. It's a new day. Religion, a construct born out of the innate spirit, the spiritual understanding. It has morphed us into a tool of control and manipulation. It is what it is. So, when I think why we even created religion, was it for governance? Because at one time, it was a governance. Even the Vatican itself governs itself in the Vatican. They still have religious laws, and right? It's a part of the government. When you tie that 10%, there was no capitalism. There was no there was no paycheck. You had a group of people that actually had to live, and so we would use the 10% as something so we can all survive. Thank God for knowledge and understanding. It organized societies. Perhaps it satisfied the need for structure and meaning. I believe it's just where we were. We have the abilities to do a lot more together. We have engineering, we have science. At the time and day, we didn't have science, folks. We had elements of science. We had seers, we had gestures, we had, right? It wasn't a long before, yeah, Luke was a physician, right? It was long, long time after that you would actually have any kind of Michael um, or Da Vinci, right? Michelangelo, but I think it was Da Vinci, right? A person that is going to remember they didn't want to take a body apart or open it because the spirits would come out. Now we can take them apart and put them back together. You could take a body apart and put it back together, but you want to believe all of the things that you believe that they believed. We got to come from this insanity. However, within the realm of this belief systems, right, there exists a predominant force who seek to convert and to enforce their truths, and those who question, who challenge the status quo. And it's the cultural programming, it's the societal norms that shape our beliefs, imprisoning our free will within the confines of collective consciousness. You might have to listen to that again. I'm going to say it again, just one more time. The imprisoning of our free will, right? Within the confines of collective consciousness. So they want to people want to tell you about how much free will you have, but I can challenge some of the free will because there's parameters within it. You have free will as long as you stay within these parameters. Try being a slave and then talk about they had free will to go. Did they? Besides having the free will to feel like you can go, you're going to get killed. Now, all of a sudden, before too long, you like the mouse that gets shocked. Yes, you could shock a mouse over the course of many generations of the mouse. And sooner or later, the pups will start coming out, make the sound, and they will act like they're being shocked. There is some trauma that's built inside of us right now that we have to shake and let go because that's what's locking us more than anything. But let's not despair, folks. Let's not despair. For within the chaos, there lies so much more opportunity. The evolution of the spiritual transcendence that bounds us, or the boundaries, rather, of religious systems, religious dogma, urges us to explore to the depths of our consciousness. It is not confined just even when we talk about spirituality. I'm not just talking about crystals and yoga, but also encompassing a vast array of teachings from ancient wisdom all the way up to modern thought leaders, scientists like Coach Malachi. Consider the concept of the quantum field, the realm that defines conventional understanding. And some people like Neil deGrasse Tyson will be like, oh, because he's a material scientist, astrophysicist. And so he's confined to those things because he has to prove his theory, hypothesis, theory, reality. That's his method. My father-in-law, who is a scientist, a behavioral psychologist, always would be like, Malachi, you're not an effing scientist. We had these talks. I love this dear man. And he's a behavioral psychologist, Dr. Gary J. Daniels. And so understanding science is testing and testing and retesting and retesting, and do what results do you get? But it doesn't confine us in material science. What that can do is confine us to the thought or free thought, the metaphysical thought, the connection to ask the questions. When Malachi speaks of spirituality, he's not talking about just your crystals and your other modalities that may benefit. Gold is a precious stone. Malachite, there's all kinds of precious stones that are used. They used them in earlier times, Bible times and before. We use it today. We manipulate Earth. This laptop is made out of materials from the planet or fake materials, but a lot of it is from materials that we have learned how to manipulate and create and magically make something like a internet connection. Hmm. The quantum field. It is within the realm of discover the true essence of spirituality, where the boundaries of time and space blur and potential for growth knows no bounds. So, where do we go from here, y'all? Where do we go? We're beings of infinite potential, capable of tapping into the universal consciousness and shaping our reality. It is time to break free from the shackles of outdated beliefs and embrace the power that resides within us. Deep breaths. As we journey forward, let us remember that we are not alone. We're surrounded by the boundless energies of the cosmos, the presence of the people that once journeyed this particular planet. It's just that we are in this body and only a few of us can connect to or allow ourselves to connect to the realms. It is waiting to be harnessed, right? It's waiting to be harnessed for the greater good. This energy that's boundless within us, that we're connecting to and we are defining and refining. Together, let us co create the world where love reigns supreme and the divine spark within us ignites the flames of enlightenment. It's beyond being woke, it's being connected, connected to the source of life, leaving an impression, expression our divinity. I just urge you guys to embrace the evolution of your spirituality, to transcend the limitations of the past, and to step boldly into the future where anything is possible. The time to awaken is here. The time to awaken is now. The time to awaken, or the time that we understand and to know. How do you know? It's because you're asking the right questions. When you ask the right questions, folks, when you ask the right questions, all of a sudden, you begin to open the door for a realization, a realization. Deep breaths, deep breaths, deep breaths, deep breaths. Are you with me? As you just here being present with me, one of the things that I want to always leave you is with an understanding connection to where you really want to go when you want to experience or connect to your higher self. Deep breath in your nose. Release out your mouth. Release it all. Release it all. Release. Push harder than normal. One of the good things to do is box breathing. That means you're going to match your breath going in, match it releasing, and match it with a hold. A lot of times it's 4. Breathe in, 4. Hold. Release. Again. Hold. Release. There's a oneness, there is a place, there's a presence of who you are that's greater than you ever can imagine. It's not just about the knowledge what comes in, because knowledge is already there. The secret is not a secret. It's a matter of how do you interpret, how do you able to comprehend, how are you able to listen? Here, feel, here, feel, here, feel. Breaths in. Hold. Take in more air deeper from the chest. Hold it. Relax. Hold it as long as you can. And release. Hopefully you're being present with this moment, being present with yourself, being present with who you are in this moment. You are beautiful people. You are beautiful people. I am a beautiful person. Say that. I'm a beautiful person. Many a times we're not aware that we speak how we speak to ourselves. And I want you to know, start speaking. Start speaking to yourself how you feel or want to feel about yourself. I know many will struggle with that, but I'm here to tell you, you can change it. You should change it. Be aware. Aware of the words you say about you. Self-love is not self-care. Part of self-care is self-love, or vice versa. But true self-care or self-love is when you can have boundaries. Stop people pleasing. Start seeing and feeling how you would feel if you knew you were unlimited. You knew that you had full potential. You knew that your divine, authentic self would become and be revealed. Your divine, authentic self is that person that is there, that is locked within you. Divine, authentic self. I'm just acting upon what I believe and what I know, and I'm acting upon what's on my heart. Deep breaths in. Be aware of where you are, but really the space that you're in. You're in a room. Connect to the space. Where are the walls? Then reach out further and connect further. Connect to the space outside of your house or apartment. And then go further and keep going further and further and further. Connect to the space that's the earth, around all the earth. And then you go further and connect outside of that. This is the vastness as you connect and go into another space and you're aware. And then you pull it all in and come into the heart. Breathe into the heart. And feel how you would feel if you were complete. You're whole. You're well. Any affliction or things that are trying to come against you as your body wants to do, feel whole through the breath. There's so much more within you. So much more. Do you see it? Do you feel it? I appreciate you for visiting with me and connecting with me. You guys are amazing. You guys are beautiful. Now, if you can do a little stretch, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much. I'm going now and I'm going to look at your comments because I was really just locked in. I wa- I was locked in. So I wanted to see what you guys have to say here. Um, of course, I'm sorry if you had any questions, then I can look for them now. Um, Anything that I think that there's things that I'm sure that will help some people. Um, Let me see here. Looking at this real quick. One of the things I don't want to forget with you guys is I'm gonna give you this. Here you go. There it is. Let me get that uploaded. All right, Miss Marie, to thine own self be true. You're so wonderful. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You guys are amazing. Miss Gwendolyn, thank you so much. Sherry Green, blessings, blessings. Bishop Henderson, good to see you. Good to see you. Good evening. Hopefully, you still tapped in and tuned in. Yes, yes. And Christopher, thank you so much. You are a hero. There we go. John Thomas, Mr. Absolute Love. If you guys get a chance, that's a dear friend of mine. He's got a page called Absolute Love on Facebook. He is an experienced young man that I hold dear. I met him through Bishop. I was running Bishop's um, social medias, and we got connected, and he got connected with Bishop, and we had some wonderful times. He was able to give Bishop a record and that brought Bishop to tears. Um, and we able to spend some time with Bishop. But John is been through a lot of training and a lot of understanding, and now just back around, many different things. I'm gonna have him on the show along with another John. But Absolute Love on Facebook, he's gonna do some wonderful things. Miss Tiffany Cochran, I b- I appreciate you. Hey, what's up, Bishop Jamal? Bishop Jamel, really. Miss Dorothy Inez, I appreciate you for stopping through, sister. Oh man. Oh, Bill, what's up, brother? We're gonna have to connect. Bill Ellis was a person that was he was around Bishop when he was around Bishop in Chicago, but also he was a person that was at the actual trial that Bishop didn't always in, and he was there to witness what happened whenever he went on trial. Miss Michelle, it's all right. There's probably 20. We got Facebook and Instagram going. So, you know, this stays on the internet forever. And so people will see it. And I still get out what is divine within me. Like the last thing I'll let any time that you think about doing something, the last thing you want to ever let get to you is anything to do with numbers, if it's a calling or a gift or something that's divine within you. My Instagram was like that. It was just I couldn't imagine growing to tens of thousands of people, and it just clicked one day, and then all of a sudden the people were able to connect or see me. And so this is not for everybody anyway. At this moment, there's a lot of people that will connect to it, but that will happen in time. I love you, Miss Michelle, my best life coach friend there. Pulu, hopefully I'm saying that, Miss Eaton. Cox. I love that picture. That's so beautiful. What girl? Man? What car are you in? That car look like it's kind of nice. Got your hand up. Yes. Thank you, King. He's got a show. I really like some of his work. I really do. He's got some good work over there. Dorothy Inez, Orange Man Trauma. Stop it. Oh man. Thank you, sir. You've been there. You've been there since you were there with Bishop. I remember. Linda? Yes, I'm here. I'm here. And we just let everybody know, like, I'm still connected to Bishop D, and I'm still there, connected to a degree. Um, I'm wanting Bishop's platform to do what it does, right? And do a really good job of archiving him and do a good job of whatever, honestly. I mean, I whatever. I mean, they're gonna talk about Bishop and his legacy. And one thing I'll tell you is that I'm on what Bishop was on when we were together. And that's what I want to continue to do, is exactly what we're doing, and the direction and the sense of where we were going, which it's hard to do when he's not here. And plus, Bishop told me to do what you do. Elisa? See, take me a minute. I no longer choose to seek answers to things. Yes, defy reasoning. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You're so welcome, and I appreciate you. I appreciate. Look at there. You got Christopher to come back. See, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. When we come together, I just truly believe that it's not just about us. I mean, an individual. It's not just about an individual. Hey, this guy is special to me, Mr. Jeremiah Krakowski. He really is. He's a really fine, amazing coach. Amazing coach, and just gives his heart. That's beautiful. Oh my gosh. I remember that. I remember that name. I may have to have you send that to me on Facebook Messenger and say it, and I would love to actually hear your voice and connect. I do love connecting to people. One day we should do um a Zoom, so that way we can all communicate. Before I go, I I'm getting to the point where I know that I'm gonna make this thing happen. Everything is almost done. The Journey of the Divine Authentic Self. It's a private group that I'm developing, and there's going to be some private coaching and showing people how to. It's interesting. Of course, I wanted to do this. I don't even know why that's not can staying on there to play, but I had it set to really work, and just a lot going on. That right there was here. I'll go, and I have the banner there, and it's divineauthenticsself.com, and it should be up and working. And so I'm going to put out a message on there this weekend, and that's a part of something even larger, the Divine Authentic Self. A lot of times people talk about the authentic self, but to me, there's something about the divineness of the authentic self. So it's not about just the selfish nature, if you will, of just me, and it's not just about the authentic self, but it's about the connection to the wholeness and of who we are. So we're starting to get involved into intuition. We're getting involved into questioning. We're getting involved into the shadow. I also would eventually like to have courses that lead up to people, if they ever, I got some therapist friends and people that want to understand or maybe go into or have an additional part of having authentic expanded consciousness as a coaching, right? Being able to help others with expanding their consciousness through transpersonal counseling or psychology, asking the right questions and being able to even build a network of business of people. I believe we need more people that are able to help other people. And it's good when you want to help someone else to have an understanding and a strategy and basically be able to ask the right questions, because it's coaching is really about asking the right questions. And then those questions lead a person deeper down into what is really the source of their, whether it will be a hang up or something that would allow them to move forward. Understand? And what does moving forward mean? That's right, Mr. John Thomas. It's about we. Thank you. Well, guys, I appreciate you. Don't forget, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this up one more time. And that is the divineauthenticself.com. You can go sign up. I'll make sure I'll check it and make sure I get a message out, the divineauthenticself.com. And I will, of course, work something out for those who I get asked this. And so, and what's funny is a person can be, it's not that I'm uncomfortable, but it's the fact that that's the Cash App. What I'll do is I'm still going to look for the people that have already given to this mission of what I have. But what I'm going to do also is when the private groups start, I can look and see who's already started, because I'm going to have more than one private group. One of them is going to be paid and have other resources and other things to open up. And so, but if you wanted to, there you go. And I will also pay attention to who is doing that. And if you do, please also, if you get a chance, make sure you drop a message in my DMs. I like to acknowledge, I like to see you. I like to reverence you. I like to connect to you. It makes me feel good if I can at least say thank you. And it's hard on Cash App too. You can give a little comment back, but it's hard to give a comment. I mean, it's hard to actually say something like thank you. But I see you and I appreciate you. 100%. Yes, Venmo or Zelle, it should be under the same thing. Venmo should be Venmo is under the same exact. Yep, it's just a dash in it. It's at Malachi Gross for Venmo, at Malachi Gross. So it's pretty much the same, just with a dash in between there. And on Venmo, it just says at. That's the Venmo. For Miss Marie that asked about the Venmo. And I'm going to remember, Miss Holly, thank you so much. I see your comment there. Thank you, Miss Holly. Everyone, deep breaths. Deep breaths, deep breaths, deep breaths. May the peace and love and joy be moved in your life. May you begin to see the results. May you begin to connect to what your higher self is. May the words and everything that you have heard tonight resonate in your spirit and allow you to unlock your potential beyond your belief. Deep breaths. Love you guys so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day.